thoughts on it on the first two games, Jim. I really think we played very well for large parts of the game, and I think we're always learning, and these games are won in small margins, won and lost in small margins. And unfortunately for us, we've came up a couple of defeats, but I really feel we're on the right track this time around. We're playing some good stuff. Just need to sort of limit the penalty count, look after the ball. If we do that, I think we'll start to win more consistently. And it's going to be a tough one this weekend against Italy. They're a good team. They've got good attacking threats across the field. But we believe we've got a strong enough squad to be able to bring home a result.
I think last year there was a frustration amongst the team about the way the championship went. Is that a different kind of frustration this year because it's been close? Yeah,
still frustration obviously, but ultimately it's about winning, and us as players we want to win more than anybody else. So we can understand, especially last year, we probably never played as well, but I think you can see from the support we're receiving from the public, they really appreciate the way we're trying to play the game, and I think they believe we're almost there as well. And we really believe that as players and as coaches, and working really hard on training, just to fine tweak the last little bits of the game to make sure it all comes together.
It was a last minute drop goal from Duncan last year in Rome, so would it be nice to get a little bit more breathing space early part of the game and then build on the kind of game that you're trying to play?
Oh yeah, hopefully it'll be don't want to be the last kick of the game type of thing, but we'll take a win, having said that. So as I mentioned before, it will be tough. Italy are good, they're a big team, and they'll always come here and try and put pressure on us. So it's about us starting the game well and playing for the full 80 minutes. I think we could test their fitness if we go the full 80 minutes and really put the squeeze on them, and we'll do that again by looking after the ball, holding the ball, playing through the phases, making them defend us, putting them on the floor. So that's a big key part of the game for us this weekend.
Has there been more emphasis on fitness, Greg? Not that you weren't a fit side before, but I mean the style of game you're trying to play, and as you say, be as strong when it gets to the 80th minute. That takes a lot of work by the team. So has there been a bit of an emphasis on fitness in this part, or the early part of the championship?
Yeah, there has been a big emphasis on the fitness part, and the training that we've been doing probably reflects that. Playing a lot of high-speed games and stuff, and just getting the ball in boys' hands and becoming more comfortable as rugby players. So the combination of the way we're training, because of the way we're trying to play the game. How much of
a difficulty is that? Because you're playing the game at such a high tempo. I presume the game plan is to run a team ragged so that the gaps appear. But how difficult does that become from your point of view, and how difficult is it to maintain that tempo during the game?
Well, it's becoming easier, I think, when you're sort of first thrown in there, especially as you're like a playmaker. It's all the new players, it takes a little bit of time to come together, but we're really sort of hitting our straps now in terms of we've got a good structure within. We've got quite a lot of options. A lot of the times, we are throwing the ball about, but it should be well constructed. So we work within a rough framework where we can pick a lot of options within that framework, and so far that's proved very good for us in terms of the running rugby we're playing. And as I mentioned before, it's just we need to tighten up on the little areas, the little penalties here and there, stop giving field position away, and just little bits of that.
You wear GPS occasionally when you're training, and I'm just trying to think of the amount of distance you must cover, because when it gets to the breakdown, the tackle area, you're there nearly every breakdown to move the ball on again. So that you've got to follow every play, you've got to keep moving. Have you worked out how far you go in a game? Because it must be a hell of a distance.
Yeah, you can.
Maybe you don't want to say it right enough, but
no, I think for a scrum halves, fullbacks, and probably number 7s, and sometimes wingers, depending on the game, usually run the most. So anything from 6k upwards, and that's quite a lot of running in a game. Games vary depending on weather and stuff, but if you're up there 6k over and above that, it's a fair bit of running.
And so when fans are watching them, or watching you play on in a game like that, at some point you must welcome to a bit of structure, because if you're doing that for 80 minutes, you need to calm down as well, don't you? You need that little bit of structure as well, just to not have a breather, but just to collect the thoughts.
Yeah, structure's good. Structure's good. I think we always work. So if let's say we go to a line out, we always work off a structure for a certain amount of kind of phases in some instances. So it's good to get that sort of little mental break. So you think, right, I know the call, bang, and then you know what you're doing because you've repped it in training. So it's good to get a little mental break at times. And but I think it's good as a squad. We're a tight squad. We're together, and you know, everybody makes sure everybody else knows their job inside out, and that's another, you know, facet of the training. We've been doing the attention to details, been brilliant, and we're just fine tuning. It's the first two games unfortunately we've lost them on small margins, so it's about the small margins in training. If you can just tweak them ever so slightly, and you know, get the bounce of the ball here and there, the referee's decision now and again, you know, we'll get the win.